We the lazy declare that we will recline when we feel inclined. And yes, we feel inclined.
We answered our kids' questions all day. It's our time to prioritize, no priorities.
Why?
Because
we put in back-to-back doubles. So now we'll be putting in extra OT right here.
We've checked off our to-do list.
Now we're checking off our to-don't list.
We the lazy are taking back lazy.
By getting comfy on our Lazy Boy furniture.
Lazy Boy. Long live the lazy.
When storms start to blow and danger strikes, we come together to face any challenge as a community. And when trouble hits our county, HCFL Alert is your #1 source for information. HCFL Alert is with you before, during, and after the storm. To sign up, visit hcfl.gov/HCFL Alert so we know how and when to notify you about local emergencies. The safest way through bad weather is together.
How you doing, everybody? I'm Chief Meteorologist Denis Phillips. Heat, still the hot topic of weather conversation, right?
Streaming from the ABC Action Weather Center in Studio A, this is Denis Phillips Live, brought to you by Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Long live the lazy, and by HCFL Alert.
How you doing, everybody? It is a special Wednesday night, because I wasn't here, Tuesday night edition of Denis Phillips Live. How you guys doing? Back from our cruise, I definitely have some stories to share, because that's kind of what we do here. We talk about the weather, talk about the tropics, talk about the rain, and talk about what's going on with our lives. I know you guys share things on your chat. I take part in it when I see it, although quite often things just kind of fly by and I miss it, and you guys kind of have stuff going on all on your own. So if you're new to Denis Phillips Live, or DPL as we call it, this is a group that's really been together for over 10 years, not always on Facebook platform. We started this way back in the day on Ustream, before there were rules and regulations and we could pretty much do whatever we wanted to. You know, now that's not so much the case, but we have a larger platform now on Facebook. So we have, we share. Again, I've told this story many times, but it is a family group. I mean, it really is. This is a group of us that have known each other for a long time. And one guy, I say this a million times, imagine a lot of people out in the backyard with their lawn chairs talking all over each other. And that's kind of what this is. So I will talk weather. I talk tropics. But I do want to do some hellos, because we like to start with hellos, especially since I haven't seen you guys since last Thursday. Anna Maria first in, how you doing? Bridget, good to see you. Hey, Ryan, as always, nice. Stephen in Clearwater, good to see you. Jules, thank you very much. I've got some pretty fun stories, and I am a storyteller. You guys know this about me. I like to tell a good story. So I will be sharing a few stories about our cruise as well. My daughter's softball team a bunch of us, I think it was 28 of us, imagine that, went on the Margaritaville at the Sea's inaugural cruise. We left last Friday, got back yesterday, and it was a blast. I mean, how can you not have a great time when you have 28 people, all different backgrounds, all different ages, some extreme levels of partiers, others not so much. And we had just an absolute amazing time, and I will share some of the stories without giving away too much, because as the cruise director kept saying, what stays on the cruise ship what happens on the cruise ship stays on the cruise ship. Now, I know that's a Vegas thing, but it apparently has turned into a cruise thing as well. Denise, how you doing in Odessa? Lisa, good to see you. Lisa stopped by our meet and greet over at Lucan's a couple weeks ago. I do have my phone, Bridget. I made it through the cruise without losing my phone, unlike the last time where, if you know, I dropped it, hit the railing, and just, boom, just fell right into the ocean, plop, and I never to be seen again. However, we got some weather. We had some weather after we left Cozumel. Anyway, Kathy, how you doing? Sherry, good to see you. Beth, I will be giving an update. In fact, I will do that even before I give the weather. April, how are you? Cindy, good to see you. Scott and Zephyr Hills. Parrish is in the house with Brianna. Dom, good to see you. Yes, Dennis, we are Christmas freaks. And you guys did see that I got reached out. The folks reached out to me from the Great American Christmas Fight. But alas, being an ABC employee, I could not take part. I let them know that. I don't think they knew I was an ABC employee, or they wouldn't have even reached out. But I told them, I'm like, look, I'll post the link. So if you've gotten any calls our emails rather, from the person who asking to call you, it is legit. They are casting now for ABC's Great American Christmas Light Fight. Alas, I will not be able to be involved. But maybe somebody in my neighborhood will, because I gave them the names of a couple of people who I think have just unbelievable displays. So hopefully they can take part as well. We've had some rain today. Yes, we have. All right, so let's get into it. So, Trish, you know what? It's very funny you say this, because back in the day, this used to be referred to as our romper room hello. It's a true story. So I've not heard anybody say this on here in years. But back when we were doing this, way back when it first started, yeah, there were people who were saying, hey, it feels like romper room. So yes, you are correct. Alicia, how you doing? Roy in Floral City. Louisiana's in the house with Antoinette. How you doing, Antoinette? Good to see you. And all right, so what do I foresee in the next 6 to 8 weeks with the weather? We'll get into that. Oh, Meredith, I saw the waterspout tornado excitement. I posted a Photoshop video of that on my page. And, you know, once I posted it, someone immediately said, that's Photoshop, because I was on the cruise ship, and someone emailed me that picture. And I'm like, well, I got to show this. And then I immediately saw some people saying Photoshop. I'm like, oh, this may or may not be Photoshop. I wasn't there, but it's cool either way. All right, so people asking about Erica. How you doing? Good to see you. As always, thank you very much. All Stars Benefit Children's Miracle Network. Autumn Woods is in the house. Jeff, how are you? And Elizabeth, good to see you. So Rob says, shout out to the drunk donkey watching. Rob, if Mike is here, I'm assuming Mike might be here. He sometimes is. So, all right. So anyway, people ask about the cruise. Let me give you a quick overview. It is Tampa. It was the inaugural voyage. We now have another cruise line out of Tampa, and that's exciting, because the people who don't want to drive all the way over to Port Canaveral or all the way down to Miami to go on a cruise, they're looking for Tampa options. The Margaritaville at Sea, the Islander, apparently is the largest ship now sailing out of the port of Tampa. 1.1 meters from the top of the ship to the base of the skyway. Just over 3 feet clearance from the top of the ship to the base of the skyway. And when we were up there, it was close, and it was a blast. So imagine all the girls there, the softball girls, they had a great time. Look, my overall view, the ship, it's a 20-year-old ship that was a Carnival ship, but under the name of Costa, I believe it's a Carnival ship, but it was owned by Costa, which is a subsidiary, I think, of Carnival. And they completely renovated it. All right, here's my take on it. The rooms are gorgeous. The rooms are absolutely gorgeous. They look brand new. The ship is beautiful. It's every bit as nice as any other ship that I have sailed on out of Tampa. No, it is not an Oasis-class ship out of Port Canaveral. It is not the Harmony. It is not the Icon. It is not, you know, a Disney. It is not one of those big Oasis-class ships. And why? Well, first of all, those ships won't fit under the Skyway. So that's why you don't get those big ships in Tampa, because they don't fit under the Skyway. So what are my thoughts? All right, let's start from the beginning. A lot of people asked valet or self-parking at the port. You know, self-parking is literally right across the street from the terminal, and you're probably going to save $30, $35 with tip, at least, on a 4-day cruise. If it's a longer cruise, even more than that. I don't have any problem self-parking. The valet was fine, too. There was a line, a lot of people doing valet, so you got to wait. I just as soon walk across the street, save the $30 or $40, and get my bags. I had no problem doing that. That's me. If you need a valet, the valet was there, and it took about 10, 15 minutes. Right when you went on, it was right there. They had you ready. But when you were getting off the ship, it took a little bit longer. Getting on board the ship, there were a lot of people. Now, I would always, my thought is, look, this was their inaugural voyage, and there were a lot of hiccups, and ones that I'm sure they're going to correct rather quickly. One of the first ones was the lines to get a drink on the sail-away party at the very beginning were super, super long. They looked short-staffed on the bars, at least on the top of the ship. You'd wait 30 minutes and you still didn't get a drink. I mean, there were some issues with that. And I'm sure after comments, they're going to probably add more bartenders to the ones near the top, because there were more people at the top on the sail-away party. Makes sense. Those are things that are going to happen. The Wi-Fi seemed solid. It went in and out at times. I've been on Carnival and Royal. It was in and out on those two at times. So I didn't see any issues with the Wi-Fi. The AC, Our AC worked fine. We had some friends of ours who were there. Their AC was not working well at all, and they didn't have a lot of hot water. So they had some issues. I think overwhelming majority of the people didn't, but there were some who had some issues with that. And the one thing I noted is that because they realized it's a first ship, people were like, the workers were amazing, really, really helpful, doing their best that they could to remedy anything. And there were lots of little things like that. I thought the food was fine. The buffet is the buffet, right? If you're on a buffet, I mean, I think the buffets are the buffet regardless of where you were. The steakhouse was great. All of our adults went to the steakhouse. The kids went to the dining rooms as well. The food was great. The service were great. I had no problems at all. The buffet at times in the morning, some of the food was a little cold. I'm sure that's something they'll fix, but that's something I heard some people talk about. But the big excitement was when we left Cozumel. Right after we left Cozumel, we hit wind. And I don't care what cruise line you're on, you know, and I'll answer questions, by the way. If you are going on, and, you know, I'll be happy to answer some questions. Okay, so we hit 72-mile-an-hour winds. The ship, I was in the candy store with 3 or 4 of the girls. And all of a sudden, stuff was just flying off the shelves, literally. Sign fell on my head. There stuff falling over. I thought I hit the sign because that was the first thing that went. There was a sign. And I'm like, oh, man, did I hit that? Holy cow, I'm sorry. And then all of a sudden, I started realizing that the ship was like this because the wind was coming in out of the east-northeast, and it was strong. I mean, we had nearly hurricane-force gusts. I don't care what cruise line you're on. If you're on a 70-mile-an-hour winds, you're going to notice it, right? And it was a rough, rough ride that night. It was at such an angle that there was some rainwater coming in on some of the doors, and there was some rainwater on the cruise. And that does happen. You know, that is the roughest weather I've ever sailed in. And as we were at dinner, all 28 of us, one by one, people started biting the dust. It's just like, I got to go back to my room. I got to go back to my room. So yeah, about half of us stayed, and the other half went back to their rooms. And so I highly suggest bringing a patch if you're going on a cruise because Dramamine makes you sleepy. The patches don't, but they do leave you with dry mouth and sometimes a little blurry vision, my son said. That was not the alcohol. But the entertainment was top-notch. We did karaoke every night. Ryan was just, she probably did 8 or 9 songs on karaoke, maybe more, including a duet with my son, Josh, 21, a Shakira version of Hips Don't Lie, which is really kind of funny that a 10-year-old is singing that, but she did, and it was hysterical, and it was really good, and everybody loved it. So the entertainment was awesome. The kids' areas were great. The pool had a cover and a glass enclosure, so when it rained, you could still go out in the pool and not get wet if you're not in the pool. I don't know. I will tell you, there were some issues with some rooms. There were. And I think all I can say is the issues that they had, they fixed the best that they could as fast as they could. And the more cruises they get under their belt, the better it'll get. But I'm going on them again. I would just as easily, out of Tampa, I would just as easily go on Royal, Carnival, or Margaritaville at Sea. I did not see much difference. Other than Royal, I think had better drink service. They had more people serving. There were less lines for drinks on Royal. That is something I'd say I noticed. We'll see if Margaritaville adjusts to that. If you want a big ship, you go to the East Coast. You go to Miami or Fort Lauderdale, or you go to Port Canaveral, and you get on the Oasis class ships. And that's another, it's apples and oranges. It's literally apples and oranges. If you want a ship out of Tampa where you don't have to drive, and you park right there, and you're out of convenience, and you want a shorter cruise, I think all of them, Royal, Carnival, Margaritaville, are all great out of Tampa. You want to go on the East Coast and get a bigger cruise, a bigger experience for 3 or 4 times the money, which is fine if that's what you want to do. Those ships offer you that. But I will tell you, when I took my family on Harmony, I spent $20,000 for a family of 8. When I went on Margaritaville at Sea, I spent about $4,000 for a family of 8. So there's your difference, right? It isn't an Oasis class ship, but it was a lot of fun. So that's what I get. is my take. And if you want to direct message me and you want any other questions, I'll be happy to answer. But I really had a, would I recommend it for a first-time cruiser? I would. And Wendy, I was talking to Wendy Ryan about it because she's thinking of booking, because you can do a 3 or 4 night one. This was 5 days, 4 nights. I think anything more than that on ship, on that length, you might get a little bored because it is smaller and there's fewer things to do than on a giant ship, right? It makes sense. You want to go on Oasis, there's going to be more things to do. But they had trivia, they had Name That Tune, they had great entertainment. The karaoke we did every night. The casino was surprisingly large, and they had $5 blackjack tables. I have never seen a $5 blackjack table on a cruise ship before. So, I mean, those were all the little things that I appreciated. Now, I know there are some people that want a higher level experience, maybe something bougier or something, whatever the case may be. I don't say that in a negative sense. I mean, maybe that's what they wanted. In that particular occasion, that's available on the East Coast. But for us in Tampa, I think it was great. All right, so there you go. I said I would give a review. That was what I wanted to do. Let's get to the weather because we do have quite a bit to talk about. We had some nice rain across the area today. All right, and we still are looking at a few showers. We had a 40-mile-an-hour gust around St. Pete around 6 o'clock, and it's all moving east to west. All right, so temperatures today did not go out of the upper 80s in most spots because we had clouds and showers earlier on in the day. All right, low to mid 80s from Tampa to Plant City right now. Lakeland at 77, St. Pete at 83. Highs today, upper 80s to nearly 90 degrees. Tampa at 88, Plant City 88. Sarasota, Venice at low 90s. And Dominique, how you doing? Good to see you. So right now, Tampa, 82 degrees and mostly cloudy. Northeast winds up to 20 miles an hour. There's a look at the satellite. Again, today was a pretty active day, not with any severe weather, hardly any storms, but we definitely had the scattered showers out there. All right? So there's people asking about how you get those patches. You can do telemed. I don't care, whatever cruise, if you're deciding, if you get seasick and you want to go on a cruise, I highly suggest going on one of those telemed sites for like 30 or 35 bucks and have them send in a prescription for those patches at the pharmacy. It's worth it because Dramamine and those stuff just don't work as well as those patches do. And you got to put them on before you get on the ship. I mean, my kids don't normally get seasick. They did, and they tried to put them on after, and it still didn't really help much. So if you're prone to motion sickness, whatever cruise, even the big ones. I mean, granted, though, I would think the bigger ships are probably the Oasis class, probably rock less. But, that's the biggest ship. That was the biggest ship that's out of Tampa. And with that wind and that ship listing the way it was like this. I mean, and the captain came out a couple of times to reassure people, like, we're all right. But I went up on the top. I did. Ryan and I went on the very top, and it's blowing like 70 miles an hour. And we're like, yeah. And Ryan's having a good time. And they came out and was like, sir, you're going to have to leave. It's too windy up here. I'm like, no, it's great. I'm a weatherman. No, you got to leave. I'm like, all right. So I left. But anyway, would you expect anything less? All right. So, but anyway, back to what I was saying. Use those telemed things, and you can get, you can get those patches. I do suggest that regardless, if you can handle it. All right. Yes, seasickness is a thing, Michael. It definitely was when you hit that kind of wind in 10 to 12-foot seas. All right, so there's a look at Futurecast. Now, tomorrow and Friday, especially tomorrow, we're going to have lowered PWs. Remember, precipitable water. We talked about this last week. Lower PWs mean lower rainfall potential, less rain out there. Coverage will be lower tomorrow, probably about 10 to 20%. So there's a look at Friday. Now, I want you to look up around Jacksonville, okay? Look up at Jacksonville right now and look at the little spin. See that little spin right there? That's Friday morning. See it? That's the tropical wave that we were talking about last week that's going to move across with nothing more than just some rain. But what it is going to do so actually, let's get into a little meteorology 101 here. Lisa, Crystal River, how you doing? So When you have a tropical system coming in from the east, more often than not, there's an area of dry air out ahead of that wave, dry sinking air. So before the wave actually arrives, you actually have lower rain chances. That's tomorrow and even into Friday. But as the wave gets closer and then probably passes by us, the winds will come around. And I do think we're probably going to see more moisture coming in over the weekend. The wind pattern might change at the low levels a little bit. We'll have to see how it happens. Okay. I just went on Margaritaville at Sea's inaugural voyage. That's what the question had. The weekend will not be a washout. And this is something I was talking about on TV today. So what this weekend will be like is comparable to what mid-July through the end of August is. More PWs, more precipitable water, higher rain coverage, and more tropical downpours. It ain't going to be raining the whole time, just like it wasn't raining the whole time today. But there will be greater coverage. I mean, I'm going to Disney this weekend, and I don't mind. If it rains, then it won't be as hot and there'll be fewer people. But I do think you will see greater coverage on Saturday and Sunday, but I would not cancel weekend plans. All right? Throwing that out there right now. Thank you, Valerie. Appreciate it. Trisha's in Japan. How are you, Trisha? I think this might be our first Japanese visit. So nice to see you. Ashley in Land O'Lakes, good to see you. All right, so let's go back. So again, you got the drier air out ahead of the wave tomorrow. The wave comes through on Friday. And then I think we have higher coverage on Saturday and Sunday. How high, you ask? Jamia, tomorrow the Disney will be fine. Next week, back to typical summer patterns, scattered stuff. So look at Thursday, lower coverage. Look at Friday, higher coverage north, where that wave will be, but lower for us. And then look at Saturday and Sunday as we get moisture returning, higher rain chances Saturday and Sunday. That is not why. I know you look at that map and you're like, oh man, it's a washout. No, it is not. It's not a washout. Port Charlotte this weekend, I think you'll be dodging raindrops, Patrick. I do not think you'll be washed out. Thank you, Deborah. But there will definitely be some rain coming in. You will be dodging raindrops. I would expect some delays, put it that way. Maybe no washouts, but delays. 9 a.m. kayaking, you're probably okay, Alexis. Tyson in Rhode Island. How you doing? I used to live in Rhode Island. I worked at WJAR for all of 6 months. Temperatures right where they should be. Today's the first day of summer, by the way. Well, the 20th is. Will Miami flood again? Don't think so. Think the heavier rain will be central and north. But I will show you that map in a second. All right, so this is new. This is new. We now have an area in orange. You have Alberto. Alberto ready to move onshore underneath that blob in orange, okay? The blob in orange is the next system behind it, where there's a pretty good chance of something developing and taking a similar path, which is more of a rainmaker. We talked about Alberto in the Bay of Campeche last week, 10 days ago, truthfully. And it has happened exactly as it should have. GT! Okay, so GT is in the house. Let me jump over here. All right, so GT is a dad of one of our softball players, and he was on the cruise with us. GT, I don't know if you saw my entire review of what happened. If you have questions, you can ask GT, because GT hung around with Dan and Carrie, and they kind of had their own little world going for a while, and they were in the casino quite a bit, and there was a dealer named Angelica, and she's from Serbia, and Carrie nicknamed her the Serbian Slayer because she took his money. Everybody took Carrie's money every single time. But he had a great time. But I'm still telling you, $5 blackjack tables are the best. I went on the craps table with GT and Carrie and Dan, and I lost immediately. So now 4 times in my life, I have played craps, and 4 times in my life, I have lost. Every single time. I immediately went to the blackjack table, went in Angelica's table, and got my $100 back and left. So there you go. So, so yeah, GT was on the cruise in the karaoke crowd, and again, it was just a lot of fun. All right, let's get back. So I just saw that GT was in the house, so I wanted to give him a shout out. Because it really was a great time for the family. It really was. I mean, again, it had its fair share of new cruise issues with water and AC or Wi-Fi or whatever. I'm sure they'll get that ironed out. but I still thought we had a really, really wonderful time. But yeah, $5 blackjack is great, Michael. You are exactly right. All right, so there is a look. I did not play roulette. My son played roulette, and he lost. Not a lot of people won in that casino. I'm telling you, they had good luck. So the area in orange is going to develop. We'll touch on that in a second. The area in yellow is what we already addressed. Now, these numbers are incorrect because I have to update it because it's clearly now at least 40% because we're now looking at an area in orange. No, Andorra, it's fun. If you go to a cruise ship or in a casino and you want to gamble, you just have to say, okay, I'm going to lose this money. This is money I'm going to have for entertainment. And $5 blackjack, you can play forever and not lose a lot of money. So it was still fun. All right, there's Alberto, almost ready to move onshore as a tropical storm. The area behind it will be developing. So let's talk about that area behind it, shall we? All right, so first of all, I want to show you something. So we're going to go ahead and jump to this map. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Exactly. Nancy, it could be snow. So you are right, Carolyn. Scared money don't win. Yes, free. I don't know, Michael. You have to ask JT. I don't know if there were free drinks playing blackjack or not. I think there were. Maybe GT will answer that one because I didn't really play blackjack long enough to get free drinks. And I had the drink package anyway, but I don't know. All right, so here's a look at the new updated tropical track, and there is the area that you see will likely develop in the Western Gulf in the exact same spot in the next week that Alberto is. But I want you to look at the following week. Nothing expected to develop through July 9th. In the tropics because we still have Saharan dust, we have sinking air, we have no development. So while we might see another system develop next week in the western, southwestern Gulf, Bay of Campeche, we do not expect, so this gets us to the second week in July without a lot. Now, let's be honest, it's not unusual at all for us to have a quiet June and July and things really ramp up in August and September, which they probably will. Rainfall potential, notice for us, this is over the next 7 days. Take this one with a grain of salt because this was a royal bust last week. But you can see all the rain from the tropics in the southeastern part of Texas and then Mexico. And for most of our state, over the next 7 days, about 1.5 inches of rain, more where that tropical wave moves in from Melbourne up to Daytona. Okay? Cruise next week in the Bahamas, you are totally fine, Teresa. Nothing to worry about. Yes, Jay, that was the wind gusting from that developing tropical system in Cozumel. That is exactly what it was. So you've got a tropical wave right here. This is the one that's going to move into Florida on Friday. But development is not expected. And here is the new one. Let's update it. And there you see the orange color now. You've got Alberto. But then you have the orange area, broad area of low pressure forecast to form near the Yucatan. Environmental conditions appear to be conducive for gradual development. So in other words, an exact duplicate of Alberto in the Western Gulf over the next week. There's our tropical wave, now up to 30%. From 20 to 30, a small area of low pressure has formed about 300 miles east of the northwestern Bahamas this evening with disorganized shower and thunderstorm development. While environmental conditions are only marginally conducive due to nearby dry air, further development of this system is possible within the low while the low moves west-northwest. That being said, I'm telling you flat out, there is nothing to worry about this. There could be a little bit of rain out of it. No big deal. Next week, Ormond Beach looks good. When will it be in Kissimmee? That would be on Friday. All right. Going on a cruise in September. Ashley, I tell anybody who goes on cruises in September, you got to expect there's going to be hurricanes around. That's why that fare was so cheap in September based on June or July, because there's a lot of hurricanes. But they go around them. So you're still going to be on the ship doing what it is that you're going to do. Identical. You are correct, Steve. I don't know. I missed it. Alex, I don't know. I'm giving you a pass, I guess. Alex has gotten a little smarmy lately, a little smarmy on social. I almost gave him a temporary ban just to be like, hey, pay attention, to get his attention. But I didn't because Alex is a good guy. Will it bring rain to Citrus? Yes, it will. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. You'll be on the Islanders starting Sunday. Sunday to Wednesday. That's you'll be fine. Might get a little wind though from that developing system. You might. Oh, streamers, thanks for watching. We're going to continue on Facebook. Have a great night. Okay, so the streamers are gone. Might get a little wind. Might get a little wind. Yeah, that's a possibility, Cindy. Cindy, I completely missed the seafood restaurant. There's a seafood restaurant on board that I totally missed, and they had crab legs, and they had oysters and all this stuff, and I totally didn't even see it. So I strongly suggest, if you get the meal package, the steakhouse is awesome. Let me know how the seafood is, because I didn't even go. Fishing trip on Saturday. Not that it's, that's a, Donna, let me look at something, because that is, with that wave moving across, the wave's going to stay northwest. You'll be okay. But I do think maybe more southerly winds, maybe. You'll be okay. It'll all be fine. Yes, it will bring rain to Shady Hills, Jamie. Alex, don't get mouthy. Alex. Alex, be careful. Let me tell you something. On that same thread, Alex, that you were on, I actually ended up having to ban somebody because he just really ticked me off and he was just being rude. But he responded to me later with an apology, and I'm like, oh, okay, you're all good, and I unbanned him. So just remember, I got that button right there, all right? Just remember. All right. What else do we got? Yeah, I think you'll be okay on Saturday for fishing. I do. Thank you, Shelly. Appreciate it. Where's my phone? My phone made it. All right, you know what? Since this is just our Facebook group, now I'm going to play this for you because I want you guys to hear this. So my son, Josh, who's 21, GT just texted me. You believe Carrie falls in the extreme partier category? Yeah, I think he does. All right, so all the girls did karaoke, but my son Josh did karaoke with Ryan. Now, they thought it would be hysterical for them. Ryan wanted to sing Hips Don't Lie. 10-year-old girl, Hips Don't Lie, borderline marginal, I don't know, but it was a cruise ship. But she loves singing that song so much because she kind of sounds like Shakira. So, you know what? I told her, all right, Ryan, it's the last night you can do it. So here, since we're now off of the streaming people, I'm going to play this for you. You can hear just like a couple of minutes of it. Not even that, like 20 seconds of it. All right, hold on, let me find it on my pictures here. So this was Ryan and my son Josh on the last night of the cruise singing Shakira. All right, hold on. Wait a minute, where is this? I gotta find it in all my pictures. There's some really good pictures on here. There's other ones on here of Carrie that I will not show, but I should because it would be hysterical. Let's see. Carrie's like, no, don't you do it. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, hold on. All right. Okay. She wanted to sing like Shakira, so she had the little whatever it was with her voice going low on it. It was hysterical. It was so funny. So yeah, she did like 9 karaoke songs, and all the other girls did. So karaoke was a blast on the ship because it was a full auditorium, every age demographic you could possibly. Some guy, I don't know, he might have been 40-ish, 45-ish, sang from Little Mermaid, the Ursula song. I can't remember what, but just anything, right? It was absolutely ridiculous, but it was very fun. All right, so that was Ryan. She did, and then she had a little cowboy boots and her cowboy hat on, and she did Taylor Swift, so it was a blast. Okay, and Josh was very nervous. Josh had never done karaoke before, but Ryan wanted him to, and you know, your baby sister, of course you're gonna do whatever your baby sister wants, because that's what big brothers do. Poor unfortunate souls, David, that is correct. Yeah, that guy sang Poor Unfortunate Souls. And he was good. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It was so much fun. I thoroughly enjoyed that part. Okay, so any other questions? We've covered the rain. Any weather questions? We've covered the tropics. I'll be back tomorrow night, too, because I missed last night. I think tomorrow night's my treat night. I think it is. Oh, yeah, I think tomorrow's my treat night. I got to remember that. Let me see. Anything else? Nick, how you doing? Good to see you. Alex, Bridget is saying that Alex is causing problems. Alex, are you going to make me pull the trigger? I don't know. Wait a minute. I mean, we're gonna have to. I'll discuss this with. Alex is not nice. Oh boy. All right. I hate to say it, but we may have issues. Okay. Bridget, you said he needs to go? Okay. All right. We'll talk. Oh, I don't get up that early, Josh. I'm going to be at Disney. Okay. 4 p.m. Sunday, a washout. No. The weekend weather will not be a washout. The weekend weather, however, will be similar to what we had today, maybe just a little bit heavier downpours at times. So rain, no rain, rain, no rain. Starting lunchtime along the coast, moving inland, then coming back. So think mid to late July through the end of August. Okay. Just think of that, okay? So I think if you get 30%, it's how you define washout, really. I mean, there's going to be rain for probably an hour to 2 hours at some point in time on Sunday afternoon. But it's Florida. You guys know exactly what that means. It means sometimes it will be, sometimes it won't be. Caitlin likes Alex, so we're having a conversation about whether Alex is getting banned or not. Alex has been around for a long time, so I'm not ready to go there. It says banned from all live streams or banned from this stream. Okay, so I will keep my hand on the trigger, but I'm not going to do anything yet. Okay, Alex, come on, man, don't force my hand on me here. Okay, Erica says he's okay too. All right, well, I trust Erica. All right. Let us see. Is that it? Guys, is that it? Thinking about parade on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, Lindsay, Saturday and Sunday. Here, let's go back to that map. I will show you. Let's go back to this map. I will show you. Actually, you know what? Let's look at the models. Let's look at the Euro. The prediction for hurricanes, Priscilla, is still going to be right. It's going to be 20 to 25 storms, I bet, before it's all said and done. Alex, it's all good. Don't worry about it. All right, so anyway, here, let's look. You guys know this. I love this site, Tropical Tidbits. Top right, you can support his page. Dr. Levi Cohen, one of the best meteorologists I know of, certainly best tropical meteorologist. Guy's brilliant. This is his page, and you can support it by clicking on that in the top right. But I'll just quickly show you the Euro from his page. And we can see, hold on, let us see, the 12Z. Okay, here we go. So let's see what the Euro is showing. So this is tomorrow, not a lot. There comes your wave, right? There's the wave. Euro brings it in, probably Clearwater north for better chances. Yep. See, now that is Friday at 9 p.m. Or no, 6 p.m. Friday at 6 p.m. Friday at 9 p.m., midnight. And here comes Saturday. Look at that moisture coming in from the south. See that? So you just kind of got a lot of tropical moisture coming back in from the south. We'll go hour by hour. This is Sunday at 3 o'clock. So you asked about Sunday. There's Sunday at 3 o'clock. Sunday at noon. Sunday at 9 a.m. 6 a.m. Sunday. Here's Saturday. Okay, Saturday at 3 o'clock. So the first part of Saturday looks fine. But then by mid-afternoon, you're looking at some late day, early evening storms. So Saturday, dry early, stormy late, typical summer pattern, clearing in the overnight, and then doing it again on Sunday. And then next week looks to be just a very summer-like, well, it won't be summer-like, it will be summer by then. So that looks to be the pattern. All right, Jessica in downtown Palm Harbor, how are you? Good to see you. Friday looks drier, Charlie. Coverage about 20, maybe 30%. Cherie is a VIP tour at Disney on Sunday, 9 to 3. It will not be a washout. It will be more afternoon stuff, Cherie. Okay. I have been to Fort Myers, Nick. Yes, I have. Let us see. I'm looking at anybody else's. I think that's about it. But see, I don't even look at the comments sometimes. And now I'm seeing Team Alex. And you guys just go off on your own. It just makes me laugh. Okay. Anyway, where else? Crystal River, Penny, how you doing? All right, so I think that is about it. And now Laura's comparing to the character in Fatal Attraction. You people make me laugh. Bill, how's it going? Bill, I saw your emoji earlier with all the snow from Montana, so that made me laugh. How about the tornado in Crystal River? Yeah, Adam, that's a tough call. Look, that was such a it was so small that it was really too small for the Weather Service's radar to pick up on it. It just didn't. I mean, we often see water spouts. You rarely will get a warning on a water spout in the summer. Now, in the wintertime, you will, because in the wintertime, a water spout is usually part of a squall line that's coming on shore and can stay together as a tornado. Summer water spouts are usually far less intense and almost always dissipate immediately on moving on land. They're different. Squall line water spouts are different from the ones that formed on Sunday, or whatever day it was. I was not in town. And according to what I read in the Weather Service, it was just too small for their radar to pick up. That is what I heard. Okay. Yes, Nick, I do. Matter of fact, my daughter's old college roommate works at Wink. Anybody else? Armature Worth, late Saturday afternoon. Tim, pretty good chance of rain late Saturday afternoon at Armature. Pretty good chance of rain. Nick is correct. Caffeine free right now. I'll break out the real stuff when hurricane season gets going. Golfing Saturday. First tee is facing north and you have a bad slice. Ew. Let me think, Lenny. Let me think. Facing north, you have a slice, so it's going to go left to right. It'll help, because with an easterly wind, that will help bring your slice back to the fairway, if the first hole is facing north. So how about that for a forecast? I don't think I've ever done that one before. That's pretty awesome. All right. Anything coming in the Gulf July 2nd through 7th? Nicole, it is not. The tropics look to be quiet from that time frame. There is the time frame you speak of. There's July 3rd through 9th. Now, granted, this is experimental, but I'll tell you what, so far this year, it's been right on the money. It picked Alberto up, it picked up the wave to our east, and it picked up the second wave in the Bay of Campeche. So according to the Climate Prediction Center, they are not expecting development that week between the 2nd, 3rd, and the 9th. Okay. Daytona Beach Shores this weekend. Afternoon and evening rain. Mexico the week of the 24th, as in July. You're talking about June or July, Joanne? Because July I can't answer. June, there's going to be rain. And there could be some flooding rains as that next wave comes through, I'm afraid to say. Yes, you can take your pontoon boat out on Friday. I don't think there's going to be any wind with this. So yeah, cruise this weekend to the Bahamas. You'll be fine because the wave will have already moved in by then. You'll be okay, Sam? But I'm curious about the 24th. Are you saying June or July? I don't know, Brenda. They're fun, but they're not for everybody. Some people love them, some people don't. I'm in between the two. Thank you, Sam. June 30th, outdoor celebration of life. That's 11 days out. That's a little tricky, but let me see. My guess is we are locked into the late day pattern by then. Although it did look like we were going west a little bit next week. A little bit too early to tell. Ask me tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. Because that's a little bit tricky. We'll have a drought update on Thursday, David. My guess is it's going to look significantly different, Sarasota, Manatee County. Thank you, Mandy. Alex, that's kind of a scary thought. That's kind of scary. But, all right. Patty in West Palm next weekend. Next weekend? It's too early. But it does look like we're kind of locked into that summer pattern starting this weekend. July 1st at 3 p.m., Rosemary is saying. That is, well, let me look at the GFS, because the GFS does go out that far. GFS on the 30th. Well, here it is. Here's your time frame. Right there. And the GFS doesn't have us with any rain. So if the GFS is right, the GFS is right. Then they would be good for you. 6 to 12 a.m. on Saturday, Nikita. That one worries me a little bit. I do think we're going to have afternoon and evening rain on Saturday. I do. That one concerns me a little bit. I know Tiffany. Tiffany was my daughter's old roommate. Offshore fishing on Saturday. Not bad. Probably 2 to 4. Probably 2 to 4. Is that all? I think that's about it. Heading to the Keys this weekend. Should you be okay? Yes, you will, but there will be higher rain chances, Julia. I think the seas will be fine, but I do think you're going to run into higher rain chances. Yeah, Casey, I do think there will be rain in the afternoon on your birthday. Let's see. Let me look. Atlantic. Oh, Michael, how you doing? Good to see you, Michael. Michael was part of our original chat group from way back when. Humidity, I don't know. I didn't really notice. I mean, it was cloudy. I mean, let's be honest. It was pretty cloudy, and we only had a little bit of sunshine the entire cruise, and that was actually when we got to Cozumel. Otherwise, it was cloudy most of the time. July 4th, Caymans, no worries at all. You're all good. You'll be looking at afternoon storms. Ooh, Patrick's expecting a stork on the 25th. Congratulations. No, not a lot of wind, actually. That gradient will have weakened quite a bit. Trip was fun, Kurt. I talked a good bit about it in the first part of it. Gave my update. I gave my review on the line. Steve, how you doing? Good to see you. I haven't talked to Steve in a while. Steve is a friend of mine from radio days and has worked over in this. Has been in this market for a long, long time. Steve is a little nervous about hurricane season. I usually don't hear from him until hurricane season, and then all of a sudden, I hear from him because he doesn't like hurricanes. Okay. Let me see. Anybody else? The food was great, Nick. Let's see. So anyway, here's your forecast. Let's go back, take this full. Thank you, Priscilla. Very kind. Friday, Inglewood. Not bad on Friday in Inglewood, Kathy. I actually think you might just be okay. Now, tomorrow it's going to be pretty gusty out there. East winds up to 20 knots. No real changes. The winds start to come down by Saturday. 60th birthday party, 2 p.m. First of all, Christina, happy birthday. Second of all, the second half of your party, there might be some rain. The earlier you can go, the better, because I think a lot of the action will be in the afternoon, later in the afternoon. But yes, I do think Saturday and Sunday we're going to have a decent chance for some rain out there. Okay, there's your beach forecast. Not a bad day at all at the beach. Ernestine is heading to Chicago on Saturday at 3 p.m. I think you'll be totally fine to fly out at 3 p.m. on Saturday. No worries at all. I think it'll be more scattered stuff. Evelyn, how you doing? Okay, so there's a look at the 7-day. Not a bother, Nick. Not a bother. And there you have it. Lower rain chances tomorrow and Friday. Higher rain chances primarily mid-afternoon on Saturday and Sunday. And next week, just kind of a typical late June forecast. The real heart of the rainy season doesn't kick in until July and August. So we're really at the beginning of it right now. But I do think lower chances the next couple of days and higher on Saturday and Sunday. All right? So let me see if I've missed any other comments. Sunday in St. Pete, pretty good chance of rain after 3 o'clock, Christy. Annie, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you very much, Colleen. Very kind. Steve does panic a little bit. He does. I get it. There's a lot of people that feel that way about storm season. And he texts me. He's like, are we okay? I'm like, yeah, we're good. Roll 7. He's like, okay. Yeah, I would have a plan B, Christina. I definitely would. Thank you for the stars, Ernestina. And again, all stars go to Children's Miracle Network. Let me see. Is that it? Let me see who else. We've got, looks like we planned our 2-week camping trip to Georgia at the right time. Heading to Middle Georgia. Nice. Harriet, that looks good. Heading late to the show. Boating forecast on Saturday, probably 2 feet. You should be okay, Julie. I think the winds may go southerly on Saturday. Probably 5 to 10, 2, maybe 2 to 4 offshore. Teresa's in the Poconos. How you doing, Poconos? My old stomping grounds, at least north of it, being a Penn State grad. I don't know, Cherie. I really don't know. I don't really see the morning people hardly at all because my schedules are completely backwards from them. I really have no idea. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, okay, Bridget. I will. Thank you. Let us see. Jay, I really think we're going to see our typical pattern this summer with Bermuda High impacting us much more with an east flow. I really think we're going to get plenty of rain this summer. Adam, I don't think so. I would not be surprised if the Oilers win Game 6, but I just don't see the Panthers losing a Game 7, even though they will be feeling it because they'll be after losing 3 if they were to lose Friday night. But I still think the home team. I will always take a home team in a Game 7. I just will. Okay, heading to Inverness camping this weekend, hanging out outside in the camper, inside. No. I don't think you'll be that bad, Veronica. I mean, there will be some, I mean, look, I mean, let's be honest, guys. If we go outside events, camping or whatnot in the summertime, you're bound to think that there's going to be some rain out, right? You're bound to have some storms. But I do not look for a washout of a weekend. I really don't. Hey, Janet, how goes it? All right. Well, I think I've answered all questions. I will be back tomorrow. It is my treat night. And we will see how things are shaping up with that wave, how it'll impact the forecast. I can fine-tune Friday, Saturday, and Sunday's forecast. Bring your questions tomorrow. We'll talk more about it. And as always, greatly appreciate your loyalty over the years. And hopefully, you enjoy the banter. That's kind of what part of this is. It is not just a weather thing. If it was just a weather thing, this isn't the place to go. But we talk about all sorts of stuff. So you guys have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow night on our next edition of Denis Phillips Live. You guys have a good night.